That's right, baby. Bring it to the front. Hey, Janine. Well, guess what? Hey, when I see you there, I get a little happy. Hey, Black Crown, I get a little happy when I see you. What? Baby, when I see you, yeah, I get a little happy. Hey, Francine, I get a little happy when you party with me. Well, guess what? When I see you, yeah. Hey, Jay, hey, Randy, I get happy when you party with me. Guess what? When I see you, yeah, yeah. Hey, Cole, I get a little happy. Happy when I see you. What? When I see you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, fellas, I put your picture on my mirror. Start to blush when somebody says your name. And my stomach is a pain. See you walk in my direction, I go the other way. I start to stutter when I speak. Try to stand, but my knees go weak. What's happening to me? Anybody, can you tell me what it means? I lay my head on my pillow. He got me staring out the window. We're gonna stop for a sign. That's the reason why. Yeah, oh, yeah. Hey, see you. Hey, Marlon, you sexy boy. Hey, oh no. When I see you. Hey fellas, listen. I scribble X and O's on my notebook, checking out my hair and my nails. I feel myself up in the zone. I get nervous when you call. Say I'm not home. See your face. I hear my favorite song. Should I send an email at home? I wonder if you know, or do you have a clue? Yeah, I lay my head on my pillow. He got me staring out the window. We're gonna stop for a sign. That's the reason why. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. See you. Yeah. Marley, so sexy boy.
Man, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? You know what it is. It's Wade's Word of the Day. Everybody big it up on this Tuesday night. I don't know about you, but I'm excited, thankful, and grateful to be hanging out with each and every one of y'all once more and again. So do me a favor, go ahead and tag, text, and tell somebody if you're over there on the Facebook side. If you're over here on the YouTube side, make sure that you are sharing it out to all of your socials and all of that good stuff. And I'm doing it as well. Yeah, make sure you hit that heart button and that 100 button and all of that stuff. Yeah, go ahead and do that real quick. Because y'all know what it is. It's Wade's Word of the Day.
Taking place, breaking norms, setting trends. Wade's Word of the Day. Uncontained, making space, cultivating grace. Yeah. Filling space, converging minds on the same page. Every day, every way. Word of the day. Word of the day. Conversation.
Yeah, y'all know what it is. It's Wade's Word of the Day. Come on, everybody, let me know how you're doing tonight. Check in with me, how you feeling tonight, how you doing on this Tuesday night, and all of that good stuff. Man, I think we're going to have a great conversation. Remember, at the end, you can always pop in, whether it's through the chat or you can do it. We'll be taking your questions at the end in the chat, but you can also pop in live and in person. We'll put up the link at the end of the day as well, and all of that good stuff. Hey, what we do is supported by you, so we can't continue to do what we do if you don't support. So please go ahead and support the work that we're doing with all of that stuff. Here's the various ways that you can give. It's right there on the ticker. So go ahead and support and do that tonight as well. So let's go. Because y'all know, hey, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm coming in hot.
Wake 'em up, see him still sleeping, so I had to shake 'em up. I kept it too real, I wasn't faking up. My real life was a headline, your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag, your timeline just a hate crime. Coming in hot, feeling like Pac, back in 94 when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave, ditch my top, then I'm off that lot. Black on black on black on black on black on black on black. You don't have to ball a rap to get them racks on racks. Uber poolers trying to catch my vibe and find my way. Yeah, I know I'm ratchet, but I'm really safe. Hot sauce dripping.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Y'all excited? Y'all ready? Let's get into it. So tonight, I want to talk about liberation, right? Liberation. You know, with everything that's going on in our world, as we presently speak, all of the trauma and all of the drama that's taking place, it's critically that we understand liberation and why people fight for liberation, why people want liberation, why people want to be free, and then how we engage in that liberation struggle. So my work is not just to engage and not just to build your spiritual muscles and spiritual imagination, if you will. I think specifically as it relates to what I do, people want to put you in a box and they want to say you can only do this, that, or the third, but I don't see myself in the work that I do as simply just preaching to you on Sunday. I really don't. And so my goal, as I've said over and over in this space, is really to develop mental, physical, and spiritual muscles. And according to a lot of that work that I do, it revolves around liberation. And so my theology is framed in liberation. It is not this kind of Eurocentric thought. It is framed in liberation. And so, yes, my goal is not only to build your spiritual muscles, but also to build your justice muscles and imagination, because I see the cross in its two sides. I see it in its divinity, and I see it in its humanity. And so, and quite frankly, with everything that's going on in our world, too often we are so upward that we don't make space to understand and recognize that we've been called to confront and deal in our humanity with the things that are happening in our world. So when you are done praying, you must put those feet to action, put those feet to work, and go out and impact your world. And so, yeah, I see the work that I do in that vein and in that frame. It's spiritual, it's justice, it's liberation, and my theology is liberation, to be quite frank. So I practice and I preach liberation. This is why I'm not a capitalist. I'm not a capitalist. You know, money don't rule me nor move me. This is why I'm not that. See, the problem with capitalism is that it tries to convince you it's equal opportunity, when in reality, that's not really true. Matter of fact, those who do the most labor see the less rewards as it relates to the fruits of their labor. But the ones who do the least amount of labor oftentimes enjoy most of the fruit. Can you say one percenters? And I think we miss that because all of us out here now we trying to figure out a way to get rich because we have bought into the myth and into the lie as it revolves around that. So in a nutshell, the ones who do the most labor see the least amount of fruit, and the ones who do the least amount of labor see the most fruit. And here's the kicker, that oftentimes it is in fact that those 1%ers, they try to convince you ain't working hard enough. Oftentimes in the struggles and in the work that I do trying to help people, folk be having 2 and 3 jobs. And yet the 1%ers are trying to convince them they ain't working hard enough. This is why they living in the hood. This is why they're struggling. Oftentimes the working poor is working one or two jobs, trying to provide for their homes, trying to make sure that their kids are good. And then you have kind of these folk who do the least amount of labor, but will convince you that they're working hard, which in most cases ain't the reality at all. Ain't the reality at all. I remember I was in a session, I was testifying on something, and one of the comments I made was, hey, we have to ask ourselves, will we be concerned about people, or will we just be concerned about entities? And one of the legislators or whatever came back and said, well, I'm one of the entities. And for me, that was the problem, right? That was the problem. Folk who are making the rules, who are establishing the rules, but in most cases, they're trying to protect. Because the reality is, those who do the most labor, and you know it in your own life, right? In most retrospect, most of us are working based on time. You know, that whole kind of 8-hour thing. Be happy to get you, a little overtime. You think you're making it, but it's still taking up time. The ones who do the most labor oftentimes see the least amount from the fruits of their labor. And the ones who do the least amount of labor in this system tends to see the most benefits or the most fruits of their labor, but then they turn around and try to convince you that the reason you're in the state that you're in is because you aren't working hard enough. That if you would just work harder, failing to understand the system and how the system works and how the system is set up, to keep you right where you are. And that's just reality. Talk, Wade.
Oh yeah, you talking, Wade?
Yeah, I'm talking. I'm talking better than some of y'all want to hear, because some of y'all even bought into the whole myth around the whole propaganda around this whole black buying power and all of that stuff, which is nonsense. And so everybody is running out, trying to get an LLC, everybody trying to get a business and everything, because we have convinced ourselves that everybody going to be able to do it, when in reality, if you really look at that, that's just a scheme that was set up to keep you consuming, to keep you, buying them Jordans and buying this, that, and the third. It's a whole system that was set up, designed not for you to profit. Yeah. One day, Yeah. You, and you. Yeah. Yeah. Go read it. It's a myth. It's not really an actual thing. It's part of the system that's designed, to keep you where you are. And so this whole thing of and all of that kind of stuff that we kind of see sometimes, it's a strategy that was developed since like the 1950s. They've been spewing this thing around how much black buying power. Now think about the term, the black buying power. That's consumerism. It's all a ploy to get your dollars, not to make you rich. Yeah, really is. And so when I think about this whole liberation thing, right? So when we think about it, I think about it in terms of four ways, right? When we look at liberation, there are four different actions we undertake in the work of liberation. Number one, we celebrate together. Let me give you the four. We celebrate together, we lament together, we envision together, and then we embolden together. So we celebrate, you know what that means. Lament means we cry, we struggle together. Envision, we envision a world different from the world that we are wrestling with, that we're dealing with. And then embolden, that's just simply raising our level of faith, our courage, our tenacity, our strength, if you will. Feel what I'm saying? So the work of celebration is fundamental in liberation because it allows us to foster our justice imagination. In other words, each day in our work to redesign the system that has been so harmful for us. And in these moments when we have outcomes, we may get legislation passed. We may find space to change something, to recreate certain systems and different things that are happening in our local community, on the state level, on the federal level. When those moments happen, they deserve for us to take notice. They deserve for us to applaud and to celebrate. So part of the liberation struggle is celebrating the victories. Now, I think to a certain extent we've gone overboard in celebration, but celebration is important. But don't get drunk on the celebration, because when you start to get drunk on the celebration, you start to salute every kind of symbolic, superficial thing that does not necessarily change the material conditions of our communities. And so, yes, celebration is important, but we can't just be about just music and dancing. No. Celebration is important. Celebrate the victories, but don't get drunk on the celebrations. You understand what I'm saying? So, anytime we put in that work and we see the results of the work, we ought to be celebrating because it's critically important. And the celebration helps us to keep on pressing and pushing, right? That, as the Bible says, that our labor, if you will, has not been in vain. That our labor has not been in vain. Number two, in liberation, not only do we celebrate together, but we lament. Another word for that is we cry, we struggle, we suffer together. And I would argue that this is a critical and important element to our liberation development. It is important to our spiritual and emotional health that we are lamenting, if you will, one with another together, that we are in the struggle together, and that we are supporting one another in the struggle, that we are grieving together, that we honor one another's feelings in the struggle and how God if you will. Let me say it like this. And it is through this lamenting, if you will, we invite God into the messiness of our lives. See, if all we do is just celebrate and we don't have these moments of struggling together, this lamenting together, this inviting of God into the messiness, because this world is, in fact, messy. So this is about us struggling together. This is about us supporting one another as we are pushing and as we are fighting to cultivate change and all of these particular things. It is very important that we allow one another to grieve and to invite God into the messiness of our lives. Man, I speak about that quite often in my preaching and all of these particular things. You know, this world is messy. And the reality is, if you're a believer like me, Jesus does not come into a pristine, perfect world. He comes into a messy world. And somewhere along the line, we have lost sight of that because we don't want any of that in our spaces any longer. You know, we want perfect choirs and we want perfect notes and we want perfect preaching. We want perfect this, that, and the third. And then we say, oh, if it's not like that, God is not honored in it. Come on now. He comes into messiness. He navigates in the 3 years that he is on this earth in messiness. He challenges folk through their messiness. This is the whole point of him coming. He enters into our messiness, and a part of that liberation struggle is inviting God into the messiness of our world. We need space for our tears. We need space to be able to process struggle. It is through this that we expand our justice muscles. It is through this that we reveal what has been raptured, if you will, in our communities. Number 3, vision, y'all. Vision is part of the liberation struggle. It is when we visualize not only the ways that God works in our individual lives, but what God is doing in our collective lives. It is in this envisioning where we see the new. We envision the new. We create the new. When we come to this place of this is what our world should be, and this is how it should look. It is in this visioning that we see new possibilities, new constructs, new way of thinking, and new ways of operating that moves us beyond the struggle. But it is in this space where we see possibilities, anew and afresh. You talking, Wade?
Oh yeah, you talking, Wade.
Feel what I'm saying? Yeah, it's in that vein. Vision, possibilities. Well, we see the world as we believe it should be. It's in that space where we envision great things. And I would even argue where we choose to see what God sees. Love, peace, joy, happiness, community, connection, patience with one another, love for one another, not where we are tearing one another apart, but where we are building one another up. Then finally, and I'm done, and I'm going to take your questions. Finally, celebration. It's lamb. It's going through the struggle with one another. It's vision. And then finally, it's being emboldened. That simply means to take courage. Even in those moments when life can be lifing, we take courage. Even in those moments when haters are hating, we take. Even in those moments when we're being challenged, even by our own stinking thinking, we take courage. We get bold. We endeavor to step out to find out. We stand on principle and we stand on purpose. Yeah. We get bold. We move from a state of being fearful and afraid to challenge the powers that be. But we speak truth to power. And we stand in that truth. We have the boldness to bring our concerns. It's what they used to say. I would rather die standing than to die on my knees, if you will. It's that boldness and that faith to claim the promises. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? And to know that he's on our side. Celebration, lamentation, vision, boldness. That's what liberation means. Those are the 4 phases or processes that we go through as we endeavor to seek liberation. Celebrate the victories. Don't get drunk on them. Be in the struggle one with another. Cultivating spaces to be authentic and to be true. And to share from a broken space. Vision to see beyond what you see. Something bigger and more glorious than your current predicament. And then finally, the boldness and the faith to speak truth, to stand tall, to speak truth to power. Yeah, that's what I practice. And that's what I preach. And so as we look at the things that are going on in our world, the challenges that we're being faced in our world, this is why people are struggling for liberation. Because nobody wants to be beholden to a system that constantly tries to hold you down and hold you back. I'm done tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you who have popped in on tonight. Make sure that you tag, text, and tell somebody. Go ahead and support what we're doing in this space if you don't mind. It's on the ticker how you can support and all of those things. Go ahead tonight and put something on it. Put some on it tonight. Go ahead and put some on it. If you do that, I will certainly appreciate it. I'm out of here tonight. Join us tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday. My co-host will be here with me, Leanna Winstead. We look forward to that as well. So, hey, we out of here. We out here. Did I put some music up here? Let me find something to play so we can get on up out of here. Let me see if I can find something for us to play so we can get on up out here. Maybe I'll play what we played. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. 'Cause the Vibe Band is always in on. Yeah, they always in order. So let me play them real quick to get us up out of here.
Rhea, sweet Sharita, party with me all night long. Say what? That's right, baby. Bring it
Y'all
to
know
the
what it
front.
is. It's Slave Later today. We're here every
Hey,
Monday,
Janine.
Tuesday,
Well,
and
guess what?
Wednesday, 8 p.m. Make sure that you tag,
Hey.
text, and tell somebody. Tell them
When
to go into
I
the Facebook.
see
Enjoy it.
you there,
Come on.
I get a little happy. Hey,
We
Black
build
Crown,
it.
I get a
Yeah,
little
we
happy
can
when I
elevate
see
each
you.
other as we
What?
talked about on tonight.
Baby,
So hey,
when
make sure that you join us
I
tomorrow.
see you
We'll be right
there,
back here.
I get a little happy. Hey,
Love
Francine, I get a
y'all so
little
much.
happy when
We
you
are out of
roll
here.
with
Go ahead and
me.
let's vibe out
Well,
together.
guess what?
A little bit of the
When
vibe.
I see you there. Hey, Jay, hey, Randy, I get happy when you party with me. Guess what? When I see you there. Hey, Cole, I get a little happy. Happy when I see you. What? When I see you there.
Talk to y'all real soon. We out. Peace.
Listen, fellas, I put your picture on my mirror.